My name is Roei Ganzarski, and I have the pleasure of being the CEO of magniX. As the CEO, I'm responsible for solving people's headaches and then creating headaches for other people. But also, joking aside, my role is basically to make sure the company has a vision into what it is that we want to do, where we want to go, how we want to achieve it, and then to allow people and enable people to do what they're good at, which is doing their jobs and getting us to that location. So really, I view my role as giving a direction in terms of navigation. I'm like the guy sitting next to the driver telling him where to go, but I'm also the person that will identify and help remove roadblocks. So that's kind of my role as CEO. I started off in the military. I served for 5 years in the military in Israel, where I learned a lot of really important things: leadership, time management, resource management, how to put things in perspective. After that, I traveled around a bit, worked a little bit in advertising, where I learned where the power of messaging is, how you tell a story, how you message a story, the importance of images. Then I worked a little bit in PR, and then came to the United States from Israel, where I'm originally from, to get my MBA, my Master's of Business Administration, with a focus on finance, because I wanted to be a finance person. While doing that MBA, I worked at Bank of America, and after that in a small private investment firm in the Seattle area, where I learned a lot about banking, mergers and acquisitions, how deals are made, how roll-ups are done. So I learned a lot about finance, corporate finance, numbers, how people look at dollar signs, etc. So that was really important. Then I joined the Boeing family of companies, where I ended up spending 13 years. And while at Boeing, I spent time doing various jobs: sales, marketing, strategy, new business. And as I advanced in the roles and advanced in my position, I got to not only do those jobs, but then manage people who were doing those jobs and lead people who were doing those jobs, which is a complete different perspective as well. So I got to do that for about 13 years, after which I left Boeing and joined a really small startup, 6 employees, at a software company who was trying to change the way companies, specifically in aviation, were scheduling their airplanes. There I joined as the chief operating officer, where basically I was responsible for the day-to-day operations of the company, and eventually got promoted to the role of CEO, where, just like I mentioned before, my role was to create the vision and then execute on that vision, make sure that that vision happens. I spent about 6 years at that company before moving to magniX, where I am now, where we are basically going to create the way, change the way people fly, and create a new industry of electric aviation. The things that really drive my passion are: 1, leadership. I love seeing a group of people come together and achieve something that otherwise they would have thought that either individually or in general couldn't be done. And to help them get to that point where they see that it can be done and getting it done, to me, is an amazing process. So I love doing international business. I love working with people from all cultures and being able to solve problems in different ways depending on the cultures that we're dealing with. And then the third thing that really is passionate for me is making a change. That change could be growth, for example, like growing a business. It could be changing the way the industry views itself or does business, like we're doing now. So continuous change, adaptation, flexibility, growth are things that really drive me. What I found in magniX is this beautiful culmination of all of these things that I did throughout my career, and the 3 passions that I have. I did not plan to get here. I wish I could tell you that I had this grand plan when I was in high school or in middle school of what would happen. And so really my message is, the best thing you can do is that at any job you find yourself, or any class you find yourself, or any course you find yourself, do the best that you can at that moment, without thinking about what will happen 10 years from now. Will this help me get the job that I want or make the money that I want? Because if you do the best job possible where you are, it will show itself to you. Then it'll be up to you to see that opportunity, recognize that opportunity, and grab it. So that's the first thing I would say. The second is, Don't be afraid to try things you don't know if you're good at or not. If you don't know if you're good at math, try it. If you don't know if you're good at art, try it, because unless you try, you'll never know. So that's one. Two, you may find that you're really good at it or that you really love it. And so who knows what'll happen. The same thing has to do with job. I thought I would never go into sales. In fact, I found that one, I loved sales, and two, today as a CEO of a company, I truly believe that every person who wants to lead or be an executive at a company has to at some point have done a sales job. Because a sales job teaches you resilience. It teaches you to think about things from the eyes of other people. So guys and gals, anything you think of, at some point I would suggest you do a sales job.